All right. So, hello and welcome to the second episode of the Royal Podcast. For this episode, I have the English voice actor of Killer Bee and several other characters, Catero Colbert.
Hey, what's going on? Great to be here.
Okay. So, so just to tell you, just to inform you again, and the audience, the structure is gonna go like the interview or whatever. And if you have any topics you want to discuss, then that can be something we can do. And
Okay.
then after that we do the Q&A, and then after that we're done. Okay. So, uh, is that all right with you?
Not at all. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, do you want to get into the interview part?
Let's go. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, first question. Could you please describe your journey into acting and voice acting?
My journey into acting and voice acting. Okay. Uh, I've been acting since I was a little kid. I started doing commercial voiceovers at like 7 and 8 years old, and I was always like a precocious, wild kid, and I would make I would imitate Mickey Mouse and be like, "Hi, boys and girls, it's Mickey Mouse," or "You see Yoda," or anything like that. And my mom was like, "You got to do that, not in my house. You should start working." So I got an agent when I was young, and I started doing like commercial things like Kraft or McDonald's. And after a while, I was like, I wanted to do cartoons. So I took a class. I took Charlie Adler's class. He is Cow and Chicken. He's Starscream in the Michael Bay movies, and then I took Bob Bergen's class. Bob Bergen is that's all, folks. He's Porky Pig right now. And at the end of there, I made a reel, and luckily I had an agent, and I started auditioning for cartoon parts. And you get a small part, and then you get a big part, and you get another big part, and next thing you know, you turn around and you have like 4 or 5 or 10 or 20 cool parts under your belt. Yeah,
Okay, ready for the next question?
I am ready. Lay it on me.
Okay, please describe any specific actions you are planning to take to further your career.
Further, I don't know. The thing is like you take it as it comes. For me, the best thing to do is when you get an audition, specifically for voiceover, is to prepare as much as you can. Like so, when you get VO audition, you get like sides, and sides will have sometimes a picture of the character, sometimes a description, and then it'll have a script. And so, like what I try to do is decipher as much information about who that person or creature or whatever is from all of this information. And so, yeah, and a lot of it is not even the words I'm saying, it's the words other people say about me. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, third question. Could you please describe what it was like to portray such an awesome character, such as Killer Bee in Naruto and Boruto franchise?
Yo, Smiley, fool you fool. To be a part of well, first off, to be part of the like Naruto family and the Naruto wave is amazing because the world of Naruto is just so intricate and so interesting and so nuanced. And to be like, I always say, like, if the world of Naruto is already crazy, and wild and imaginative. So if there was a volume and that went up to 10, like Killer Bee's volume goes up to 12, how wild and crazy he is, dude. Because, it's probably the most fun I've had, or some of the most fun I've had acting because I get to rap like 80% of my dialogue. And B just does things that everybody doesn't do. He's that odd, lovable, affable, like ass kicking character that everybody can get down with, you know?
Yeah. If I had to say, like, when watching Naruto or whatever, Killer Bee was my favorite out of all of them. Mainly, like, okay, so like I got to the like at some point I got to the part where Killer Bee was fighting like Sasuke and his group or whatever, and
Oh
he's like
yeah.
rapping and dancing the whole time, and I'm just like, okay, and he was like, hold up, gotta write a song. I was like,
Well, the thing about that episode in I think it's 212,
mm,
uh, and what he says is he's fighting and he turns around and he says, "I'm feeling hella fine. I just wrote the baddest rhyme. Thank you." But the thing that I noticed about Killer B is like he's wild and gregarious and crazy when he's not fighting, but when he's fighting, all calm, all cool, all
mhm.
collected, and really you can see it in that episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah. Okay, are you ready for the next question?
Lay it on me.
Okay, have you had the opportunity to identify aspects of your own personality that align with the character of Coldcast from Superman versus the Elites?
I don't know. I don't even like what are cold casts identify with. I would, I tell you a really cool story about cold cast. That was the first job I had that was either in Marvel or DC. And when I was a kid, I always wanted to be in Marvel and DC. So I don't know if I align with his values per se, but playing him at the time was the most fun because it was the like manifestation of a childhood dream of a kid who
Mhm.
used to sit and watch whatever the latest iteration of the Super Friends was. And then cut to I'm in a studio and I'm recording and this is like after we've done the initial recordings, after they've come back like a year later or 8 months later, and I'm watching my voice come out of a character who is beating up Superman. I mean, Superman eventually beats Coldcast up. But yeah, it was just so much fun to do that. So I don't know if I necessarily align
Yeah.
with Coldcast or share anything. That's a great thing about playing a bad guy or a character like that is you get to do and say and live through things and emotions that are not really part of you. Because, I would never, I'd be like helping Superman out personally. But,
Yeah.
Cast and the elites, they did what they had to do what they had. That's what I identify with. He did
Okay.
what he had to do to do what he did.
Okay. So, next question. Uh, could you please describe a situation in which you encountered a professional challenge and discuss the approach you took to address it?
I don't know. Yeah, every aspect and every part of working as an actor, whether it be in front of the camera or in front of the microphone, is a challenge. And for me, I look at it like being able to do this work is a privilege, man. And I'm here, and what I try to do is I try to serve the greater good of the project. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't always, I mean, sometimes selfishly we as actors want to do like our thing, but really for me, it's like what's the best thing for the project overall? Because it's not necessarily what I want, it's what would be best for Naruto or Rurouni Kenshin or Bleach, and I try to interpret that and do my best to bring that to life, even if I don't necessarily agree with that. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't know if I want to do that, but I'm like, you know what? Killer Bee would do that. So I have to figure out how to create that for Killer Bee and use all of the tools I have to bring it to life to serve the project as much as I can.
Mhm. Okay. So, next question. Could you recommend any shows that you have appeared in?
All of them, dude. Whatever I'm in, check it out. Well, you know what? There's a really great show that was live action that I did. It was one season on Showtime, Now it's on whatever the Showtime.com or whatever. I don't know. It's called Roadies, and it was created and show ran and directed by a really amazing artist named Cameron Crowe. I really had fun doing that show, live action.
All right. Okay. So, next question. If you were to be cast in any current movie or TV show, which role would you choose, and what would the character's name be?
Yo, the character I really want to do the voice for Grogu as soon as he starts talking, man. Because I'm a Star Wars head. I'm really a Marvel and a Star Wars fan. So I really want to do the voice for Grogu.
Okay.
You, John, call me, please. Grogu, Grogu. Yeah, I'll get down in there. So I figured
Uh,
Grogu's like Yoda's like this. And the kid's like this. So hey, what's going on? How are you? Something like that.
so, when at first when you said Grogu, I thought you were talking about the American Dad Grogu. I was like, huh.
I think I was on American Dad.
I
Was
think
I?
you were. I
I
seen,
was, yeah.
yeah, on your listing that I seen that it said American Dad. I was like,
Okay, yeah, I was on American Dad. I forgot. I think I played. Oh man, played a baseball player, a real life baseball player, and it was a Manchurian Candidate style thing where I turned into a killing machine when I heard a prompt, sort of what they just did in Captain America: Brave New World.
mhm.
Yeah.
I might get in trouble for saying this, but American Dad and like Family Guy were like my two like favorite shows growing up, and I was just like,
Yeah. You shouldn't have been watching that. Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
okay. So next question, with reference to Naruto, like the Naruto franchise, please describe your favorite aspect of it.
Here's what I love about Naruto. Being, a quote unquote like geeky person. I like geek fandom. When I was a kid, I was into Star Wars. I mean, I'm still into Star Wars. I have action figures and all kind of stuff. Uh the story of Naruto, and this is why I think it really resonates, is the story of like nerd culture, geek culture. It's of a person who was an outcast, who had something special about them, number one. And Naruto set out, set a goal. He was like, I will be the Hokage one day. And he found his people and he found a power within him that he honed and shared and did go on to save everyone. And eventually in Boruto, he does become the Hokage. So I feel like that sort of echoes like us, man. We were sort of outcasts and we didn't have, in school, we were like the people that some of us, I didn't get picked on, but I sort of it was like that dude is, what are you into, man? Get that stuff out of here. You want to check out this hip hop or you want to get into basketball or something. And I was like, you guys should watch this thing called Akira. It's really good. And so I think that Naruto echoes that, and it's like his catchphrase, "Believe it." It's like you believe in yourself, and you will find who you are and where you need to be. That's what I
Okay.
really like about Naruto.
All right. So next question. Please describe your first dream job and how similar is it to your current career?
Say that again. My first dream job.
Yeah, like and how does it like how is it similar to what you do now?
Again, Smiley, I'm really lucky in that this is I've been working since I was a kid, so this is really
Yeah.
the only job I had. I had a job at a video store, it was a computer store when I was young for like a week, and then I got like a movie, and I've never turned back. So,
All right.
really, the dream job is to be an actor because I feel like again, I feel like I'm in a job of service because what I do hopefully brings joy to people. The killer bee in doing his voice, people all over the world all day are listening to that and having a good time and being a part of that. So that was my dream job, dude. And
All
every
right.
time I get to work, honestly, I'm like, I'm getting paid for this. I was in the booth like was it last week, and I worked, and I was like, I'm getting paid to make silly voices and like have fun and bring joy to people.
All right. Okay, so I only asked that question because some actors and some like musicians or whatever they had their dream jobs would have been something different than what they were doing like currently or whatever.
Well, my dream job is a billionaire, retired billionaire. So if I can get that one, it'd be great.
I feel like with the voice like your voices, I feel like you got that
Right
set.
on.
Okay, so next question. So as a professional actor, which other actor or actress do you admire? Did you draw inspiration from them when you embarked on your career?
Oh wow, man, there's so many actors that I admire. My favorite actor is Gary Oldman, in front of the camera actor, and only because he does what I aspire to do. He's like a master at becoming other people, and
Mhm.
for me, I feel I try to bring something different to every character or create a new life through that character and become that and not necessarily be Catero, and have like my mannerisms or sometimes I'll do that if it calls for that. But what I love is to like become something different. And, behind the mic, I love Phil Lamar. That's like my idol. I met him once and I was like, yo, Phil Lamar. We were at LA Comic Con like a year ago or 2 years ago. And I got to meet him and he was super humble and super great. I mean, he's been a Jedi, he's been Green Lantern, he was on Static Shock, he was in my favorite movie, Pulp Fiction. So yeah, a lot of folks. A lot of folks.
Yeah, if I had to say, like hearing some of your like what you've done, or whatever, like your works wise,
Yeah.
I'd hear one and then I'd hear another. I'm like, I can't believe that's the same person.
Right on. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So yeah. So next question. What are the similarities and differences between portraying Oetsu Nimaiya from Bleach, the Year Blood War,
Hmm.
and like it's this one's kind of bizarre. So Lou, or and or Gary from Craig of the Creek.
Oh, are you kidding me? Like those, I thought you were going to ask what's the difference between Killer Bee and a Wetsuni Maya. But the difference, like oh, a Wetsuni Maya is sort of here, and like
Those were like little kids, and they had like precocious things that they were doing.
so it was way different because one's like a thousands of year old god in like an alternative universe, and the others are just like little little fun little kids. And Craig of the Creek, again, Phil Lamar on that show. Great to work with Phil Lamar. uh it's different because
Trying to get into the mind of a precocious young man.
and so you're recalling the stuff you did when you were like 7, 6 years old, whereas when you're playing Oetsu, the sky's the limit of what you can do and what you can imagine.
Yeah.
So it's really the parameters that are given to me as the actor that I accept and then build therefrom. But you approach them the same way
Mhm.
because they're both the people in essence. Just one will cut your head off, and one wants to be tucked in at night.
Like, okay, so would you say that you were able to see any similarities between them or no? Like the
Hmm.
like voices or character wise?
Well, I mean, they're both high. Owetsu's a higher range.
And when you're playing a kid, it's always higher range. So you're like, hey, what's going on? And the other kid was like this.
So, I mean, that would be the similarity, but yeah, there's not a lot of similarity between Oetsu and the kids from Craig of the Creek
Okay.
that I know of yet. That I know of yet. We'll see.
Okay, I asked that one because I thought it'd be a fun but interesting like question to ask because nobody would think to like try and like find similarities between those.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so next question. Could you explain? Okay, so first I want to ask, did you? So how did you get come about to directing 2031?
Oh, well, again, I don't want to sound like goofy, but think of myself as like an artist. I don't. I'm also a musician. I write things. I'm working on a few projects. So I wrote a. It was originally a film, 2031, that is now evolved, and so I did the short. I could put it together as a, proof of concept of how it would look, and now it's still working on it. It's sort of changed into a big, huge TV show pitch. So how did I come to? I wrote it and put together the production, raised the money, did all the pre-pro. We got lucky to get Michelle Rodriguez and Lucas Haas, Paul Johansson, some really amazing actors. I will tell you this, Smiley. If you're ever making something, the most important thing you do is you get the right actor for the right part. And as a writer or director, that's 80% of your work. So yeah, I just got really lucky, and I'm still working on a few other things. I can't really talk about these things because they're just like in the pipeline, and I don't want to like say them before they come out. But there are a few things that I'm working on now that are television. One is actually anime. It's not, well, you can't call it anime because it's from America. What is Avatar? I guess it's just a cartoon.
Okay, so are you talking about like Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes,
Okay, so
not James
that
Cameron's
is
Avatar.
okay, so that is a cartoon, an American cartoon inspired by Japanese, I mean not Chinese culture.
Okay, so what I'm working on is an American cartoon inspired by uh uh Japanese anime. Oh, what's it called? Shonen. Shonen. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I don't have to
That's
ask
one of
the.
the things. One of the things. Sorry, I didn't
All
mean
right.
to interrupt you.
Oh no, it's all right. So I guess I don't have to ask the follow up question because the follow up question was, do you have any plans to direct any more any more? And I guess you kind of already
Yes,
answered that.
I'm working on developing a few projects. One, the anime thing is called Go-Go Mode. It's sort of like Naruto meets like with like a hip hop influence, yeah, and a couple other things.
All
So
right.
yes, I love directing because I love the process of creating art, man, in any facet. It's sort of how I grew up. It's kind of what I am, and I just love acting and making things because
Yeah.
really. An acting performance, to me, you're creating something, even if you're creating the voice or you're creating an on-camera performance, it's still something that you're making.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So next question: what has been your most surprising lesson learned while doing acting, directing, and composing?
Okay. Well, they each have their own lessons. If for directing, wear comfortable shoes. Number one. For acting, know your lines and always be ready to here's the thing, be as prepared as you can but have a improvisational spirit, which means you'll be ready to take a left turn at any point. You got the script, you got what you worked on with the director and the other actor, but sometimes in the moments things can open up that didn't you didn't know existed until in that moment. Yeah.
Okay. What? So how about for composing?
Oh, for
For
composing? Okay, here's the best thing is like be free.
Mhm.
in when making music is the most important thing because once you start to think about it, it's over. It's almost like freestyle rapping or jazz music. You know what I'm saying? Like the best stuff comes when you hit it off the dome and you're not like maybe I should do this or I think about this. It's just like just let it go, man, and then clean it up afterwards. You can always erase that track and redo it.
Okay. So before I get into this question, so what I was gonna say is, I've noticed like okay, so if people were to search you up, there's like images of you with a microphone singing, and then there's even YouTube videos that have like you singing and stuff like that too.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that you have a love for music and all that.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the question was okay. I was wondering if your father Chuck Colbert was the inspiration behind like your love for music.
100%. My dad is a musician still. When I was growing up, he was a musician, a singer, and a producer in Chicago, where I'm from. And in my formative years, I would go to the studio with him. Man, in like the 80s, studios were these huge places, dude, that had multiple rooms, and then there would be mixers in the rooms. And they'd also have rooms with just instruments like a Fender Rhodes or a B3 organ. Like every studio had to have these things because people would be like, I need that right now. And so I would be in the studio with him because I didn't have a babysitter. And I'd go and I'd just hang and I'd watch the engineers and I'd watch him produce. And sometimes he'd be like, get out of here, go play the piano or go play the drums. So I learned that's how I learned music really through osmosis. And yeah, so watching him and being around groups of musicians is where I got my musical sensibility. And that's really my first talent, you know, yeah, being a musician.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So next one. Can you please describe a key lesson that your parents has instilled in you, in which you feel would be beneficial for like others to learn?
Uh, okay, always be courteous, especially at work, because you never really know what the other person it may be going through or what their anger comes from or where their frustration. And especially when you work in there's moments where everything could just go left and you can either go into that, or you can try to have an empathetic mind and be like, all right, I get that. It doesn't always work, but you can be like, all right, I get that. But now let's try through me. If I'm understanding, I usually find that the other people are understanding and we can come to some sort of cohesion. And that's, especially at work, I feel like that's something that has really helped me in my life because I've never had any problems, knock on wood, or any drama in Hollywood working. Uh, it's all been really a really amazing ride. So that courtesy is contagious.
As far as I've seen so far, it would be kind of hard to see anybody having a problem with you.
It's all good.
Okay. Next question. Okay, so can you please provide an example of a time you had to learn a new skill or technology quickly? How did it approach the How did you approach the learning process, and what resources did you use?
Okay. I did a movie. It was called Unbowed when I was a kid. And there were two things. I had to ride a horse and I had to dance the waltz. And I went on the audition and my agent was like, hey, can you waltz? And I was like, yeah, of course I can walk. Can you ride a horse? Yeah, I can ride a horse. I took waltzing lessons and I took horse riding lessons. And I didn't do great on the horse riding, but the waltzing turned out pretty all right. I think they nix the shots of me on on the horse. But you always say yes. That's the old thing that actors do when someone is like, "Hey, can you I don't know. Can you climb? Can you are you good at climbing?" Heck yeah. And then I'll go to recreation and I'll take a class. Or can you do this kind of music or what? Or can you play the congas or whatever? Yeah, heck yeah. I can. Can you play go? Oh, here's one that I they just did. I had this is the part I almost got. It was me and another person, but I didn't get it. And they were like, "Can you play pool?" I was like, I mean, I'm okay, but like to play it on TV, I was like, yes. And then if I got the part, I'd just go take, like a week of lessons or something like that. So I
Mhm.
always do that.
Okay, so
Kids,
this is
kids, actors out there, always do that.
an so this is an unrelated question.
Yeah.
So, do they give everybody like prep time before the shooting and all that, like the recordings and all that?
Well, recordings for for cartoons and stuff, you usually don't get a lot of prep. Sometimes they'll send if it's extensive, sometimes they'll send you the script ahead of time, but usually you get the script on the day when you get there and we're reading, Now for film, for on-camera stuff, sometimes you get prep time. Sometimes, if it's a TV show, you don't get a lot of prep time, and you'll have to do
Mhm.
like 5, 6, 7 pages and in a day. So, and you get them like 2 days before. So it all depends. But if you're doing like a movie, sometimes you'll get a long prep time up to 3 to 4 weeks. But if you're doing like a Marvel movie, some of those people are getting in shape for a year and preparing ahead of time. So yeah, sometimes you get, sometimes you don't.
All right.
It varies, yeah.
Okay, so uh, can you please describe a project you would like to create in the future, and like specify the aspects you would like to explore? Like, if you want to explore like a unique theme, like or whatnot, what would that be?
Well, I'm working on a project right now. I can't really talk about, and I'll tell you this: it's a show that is like a drama with a little bit of comedy that deals with time travel and family
All right.
and reuniting a family in time. Yeah. Because my here's the thing is that I'm a sci-fi guy. Like, no, most of the things I create have a science fiction basis, unless I'm doing it with a co-creator, and some of those are more grounded. But I love sci-fi, so all most of the stuff that I'll be a part of will be either fantasy or science fiction. So whatever I can do in the realm of fantasy and science fiction, I will that it'll probably be that because I'm chasing Star Wars, I'm chasing James Cameron, I'm chasing Tolkien, I'm chasing all the Stan Lee, all the people that I loved and the creators that inspired me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
because what I love is I love worlds.
Mhm.
This world is great, but I love the world of Marvel. I love the world of Star Wars. I love the world of Lord of the Rings. I love the world of the boys. I love when I was a kid. I loved the world of I don't know Transformers, like alternative universes that we can take a peek into. That's my thing.
Yeah. So, okay, unrelated question again. So, you're saying you like sci-fi or whatever.
Mhm.
Have you ever watched Rick and Morty?
Yes. What do you mean? Have I ever watched Rick and Morty? I've watched all the Rick and Morty, except I'm having a hard time with the anime one, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into it, but Rick and Morty was such a delight and such a joy, and it lives in such a world where it's just crazy. Yeah, I've seen all of them. I'm gonna sit down with the anime joint and get into it. But I love Rick and Morty. I love
Yeah.
interdimensional travel and that whole Back to the Future dynamic between the two and the family. Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
Yes, I love Rick and Morty.
all right. My older brother got me into that one. I thought that was
Good
I
older
love
brother.
the show. I watched
Yeah.
it like I think about four more times. Same thing with the funny thing is, like I have so much free time on my hand. I've actually watched American Dad and Family Guy more than twice, maybe more than four times.
The whole series?
Yes,
Wow.
I just have like a lot of time on my hands, you know.
Good morning, USA.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. So, uh, can you please describe a situation in which you were required to work with a team that was not operating efficiently? What measures did you implement to enhance the team's performance?
Right. Well, working more so animation is always a rocking system, dude.
Mhm.
Like you show up, they got your stuff ready, the director's there, the engineer, sometimes there'll be a client or a casting director, and it's like boom, boom, bam, bop, boom. Now, that being said, on camera can get a little chaotic. And again, I do what I said before because there's so many factors on a set, especially if you're doing an independent film that doesn't have a lot of resources. You never, there's weather, there's, sometimes actors can have attitudes and they can, come to loggerheads. So again, going back to the what we talked about before, is I try to be as patient as possible, man. And there's always that old moniker for film is like hurry up and wait. You get to set and that's what your trailer's for. Sometimes you get to set and you sit around and we can't figure out the lights or we're not unable to shoot that, so we gotta, shoot another scene, but then that setup is gonna take an hour and they're all going crazy. You just gotta, for me, I try to stay as calm as possible, uh, get into my lines. I meditate and try to be instead of an annoyance, be somebody who goes with the flow.
Right. So, outside of your so this is the next question. So, outside of your professional activities, could you describe any hidden talents or unusual hobbies you enjoy in your personal time?
I collect action figures. Yeah, I am a big action figure. Hold on, collector. Boy, War Machine, Punisher, War Machine. So stuff like this, I've been collecting since I was a kid. I got Yodas from when I was, oh man, I put it in the wrong year. I got Yodas from when I was a Star Wars fan as a kid. So I do that. And I don't know, I like to hike. I like to work out as much as I can. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I like to work out. I like to, I go to Comic-Con. That's not really a hobby. That's something I really love to do. I love meeting fans. You know why? Because as a voice actor, it's not like being a stage actor. Like if you're a voice actor, you sort of, are in a room by yourself and you have the director and the engineer, and you never really get to see if people enjoy your work. And when I go to cons, I'm like, oh my gosh, people really like. I mean, I knew this stuff, people are watching it, but it's like, oh wow, people really enjoy what I do. Yeah,
Okay. Uh,
yeah,
all
War
right. So,
Machine,
huh?
War Machine. I also got others, but yeah,
So yeah, the War Machine's really like cool though.
right on, yeah.
Okay. So, next question. Could you please describe a game or an anime that you would like to be a part of, and how would you approach a how would you approach the role?
I'd like to be anything in Akira, dude, if they ever remade that or if they did the live action. And I'd,
Yes,
I'd love to be on the new The One Piece on Netflix that they're doing. They're remaking
the live action.
no, 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 no. They're doing a full-on anime based on it,
Oh,
but it's gonna be not as long. They say it's not gonna be as much quote unquote filler in this. Yeah.
Okay. So, excuse me for 1 second. Like, you got kids who just came back, so I'm gonna close my door.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, usually I do that beforehand, but I kind of forgot.
All good.
Okay. Uh, so next question. Uh, so like which role have you enjoyed or playing like enjoyed voicing or playing the most, and what are the reasons why?
The most, I would say Cold Cast. That was like a watershed moment for me because it was like the moment that I realized I was doing what I set out to do as a kid, and B, just because I've spent so much time with him and it's great to be a part of the Naruto world because the storytelling, the execution, the fans, it's all been really fun. And plus, again, getting to rap all my dialogue is amazing, dude. Most of my dialogue, yeah.
Okay. Uh, so next question: can you please describe the challenges you have faced in your career and the strategies you have employed to overcome them?
Repeat that question. The what's I've done in my career?
So, what are the challenges that you have faced in your career, and what strategies have you have you done to overcome them?
Right. Challenges. I don't know if there've been challenges. It's just being an actor. The nature of the job is like you're not always gonna work. You're not always gonna have a job. And the thing is, unless you're creating the part yourself and you guarantee yourself a job, you gotta audition. So it's just like get used to no's because you're gonna get a lot of no's. But the yeses that you get are going to negate all the no's and they're gonna lead to more yeses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question. This is a
Mhm.
really short one. So,
Okay.
what advice would you give to aspiring voice actors?
Take a voice acting class. If even if you're a seasoned actor, because there's a specificity to the technique of voice acting. Like if you want to get into it, take a voice acting class. I took Charlie Adler, I took Bob Bergen, and they shepherded me through the things that I didn't know, like creating a character or becoming an emotion, being able to take your voice and put it through the screen and into the mind of the audience. Yeah, that's what I would say. And get a reel at the end of your class or workshop. Have the teacher help you facilitate making a really dope reel.
Okay. Next question. Could you please describe the most unusual or amusing direction you have ever received from a director during a voice recording session?
Oh man, I don't know. There've been so many. I don't have one, dude. I don't have one because I don't think that anything is unusual. Anything that it takes to get the emotion and the feeling right. Because like some actors are like, I don't want, don't tell me how to say that. What they call it, like giving somebody a read. And if a director has a specific thing, I'm like, yo, give it to me because I'm gonna get the credit for your idea. They're gonna be like, man, you were really good at Killer Bee when you did that. And if Mary, the director, gave me the idea, I get the credit.
Okay.
Pro
Uh,
tip.
okay. So next question. Uh, if you could have, okay, this is supposed to be more of a fun one.
Okay.
So if you could have any superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it?
I would have what's the power that Professor X has? Is it telekinesis or is
I
it
think so.
yeah, yeah. Telekinesis, man. Like oh wait. Which one? One is where you have the mind and then one is where you have telekinesis and telekinetic. One is what oh man, but whatever Professor X has, I think it's telekinesis.
You want me to check it real quick?
Yeah, let's see what Professor X's power is. What's Professor X's power? Telepathy, not yeah, telekinesis is where you move stuff.
With your
Telepathy.
hands, I
Yeah,
think, is
yeah,
the telekinesis.
yeah. Or the Wolverine power of uh regeneration from pain, not pain, but just injuries.
Okay.
That would come in handy.
Okay. So like, if you had to say like, how would you use those abilities?
Well, I'd never get sick. Uh, and if I broke a leg, I'd be fine, and I'd get to live to be a however old Logan is, 180 years, it's 213 years or something like that. And if I had telepathy, man, I'd listen to people's thoughts, like, hey, what's going on? Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
next question. What aspects of working in the acting industry do you find the most rewarding?
Working. Whenever I work, that's the most rewarding because that's the fun part. I always say that like parts of the job is like going to meetings, working with agents, working with managers, driving around for auditions. But the most rewarding part is between action and cut when you get to do your thing.
All right. So, this is also supposed to be a fun question.
Right on.
Okay, so could you please share your preferred karaoke slash casual song, and can you provide a brief preview?
Yeah, my go-to karaoke song is Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It" because that always gets the party crunk, and it's like, this is how we do it. Sha la 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 la. This is how we do it. Kind of buzzing, it's all because. There you go. Or
That's
crazy,
awesome.
crazy Niles Barkley, but I'll go right to "This Is How We Do It."
Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, so next question: if you were able to create a character that was permitted to appear in a show or a game that is currently out,
Mhm.
it could be ongoing or it could be finished. Like which show or game would it be, and how would your character like how would it? Okay, so what would your character be, and how would it alter the story?
Whoa. That's a lot. I'd love to, as a writer, I've written some comics. I'd love to there's a comic on where is it? It's on Amazon. You can get it digital. It's called LA 3000 that I wrote with a buddy of mine, Paul Stewart, and it was drawn by the Mad Twins. I'd love to write a comic in and for the Marvel Universe, man, because that's my favorite, to create a character, even if it's like a ancillary side character, and it would probably be someone who helps one of the heroes. Yeah.
Okay, so next question. This is also supposed to be like more of a fun question.
Okay.
So if you were stranded on a desert island and you could only bring three things with you, what would those three things be?
That's a good one. Uh, Somewhere comfortable to sleep. This is a funny question because I love those shows like Alone. Have you ever seen Alone on Netflix, where the person is like by themselves and they have to survive? So, you always want to bring the tarp, and you always want to bring something to make fire or crossbow. It would be great if I could have a computer with Wi-Fi. I don't know if I'm gonna get that on a desert island, but yeah, that would be. I would bump either one of those other three, and
All
maybe a
right,
guitar, maybe a guitar with strings
I
that would
can
last a long time.
I can imagine that that island is gonna have a like a Wi-Fi tower or whatever in
That's right.
there. Okay. Um. So next question. Uh, if you were to choose to if you were to choose to participate in any reality TV show, which one would you select, and what would your rationale be for that choice?
I just got finished watching Beast Games, sorry. Beast Wars is Transformers. Beast Games. I'd love to go on that. That would be. Did you watch that?
Um, I don't think so.
Dude, watch it. The
All right.
last episode just dropped. They gave away $10 million. And it was like Survivor and because I don't watch a lot of reality TV. I'd love to be on The Masked Singer, but yeah, Beast Games was really fun. Just the way that they played the game.
Yeah, that's funny that you mention it because like the Mass Singer too. Like
Hmm.
me and my friend watches a lot of that type of stuff, and the Mass Singer is one that pops up a lot. And we would be theorizing or just like discussing like what songs would we sing if we were on there. So what songs would you sing if you were on there?
I would sing. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many songs. I'd probably sing. I can't even think, man. You stumped me with that question. Because there's like songs that I love, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'd sing.
Okay. Next question. Could you please describe the most memorable fan reaction you've ever had?
Oh man, I forgot his name. I think it was Teddy. I met this kid and he was like 8 years old and he wasn't even born when Naruto started, or I started. I started on Naruto 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and Naruto started like 20 years ago. And this kid, I tell you, he was so excited. But I was like, how are you? And he was excited about Killer Bee. And I was like, oh my goodness, there's like a whole nother iteration and generation of people who are into the show that weren't even alive when the inception of it or the creation of it came. Yeah. And the manga came out way before that.
Oh yeah.
So that was really awesome to see this little 8-year-old kid, Teddy, going crazy. I was like, what?
I think quarantine helped that a lot with like the blowing up of a lot of animes.
Probably, yeah.
Especially like parents were probably watching them with their kids and everything too.
Oh yeah, I get a lot of folks that were like, you know what? During quarantine, I did Naruto over. I started over, or I started it when I was a kid and didn't finish it. And now that we had that time, I just watched it once. And some people are like, I watched it twice. And I'm like, thank you for your service.
Okay, so next question:
Yeah.
could you let us know if there's a if you have a favorite catchphrase or quote from any of the characters you have voiced?
Is that a rhetorical question?
Possibly.
Yeah, my favorite is "Fool You Fool" from Killer Bee. Like again, catchphrase. I mean, there's a couple other characters that I've done that have things they say, but it's like I've got a character with a signature catchphrase that people are like, they're like, say "Fool You Fool" to my boyfriend for his birthday, or can you do a rap for Valentine's Day and say "Fool You Fool" in it for my girlfriend or whatever. So yeah, "Fool You Fool." And again, one time somebody asked me, "Do you ever get tired of saying "Fool You Fool"?" And I was like, "Are you out of your mind? How many people?" you know, uh, get like a catchphrase that catches on. It resonates with people. So I'm very grateful to have a character who's got like a catchphrase, like Bart Simpson's. What was that? Eat my shorts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah,
fool you fool is in the catchphrase pantheon with Yabba Dabba Doo and yeah, what's up, Doc? And all those kind of things. Yeah.
I always loved
Fuck,
like
fuck, Tash. What'd you say?
So I was gonna say like I always loved the catchphrases of like characters and stuff like that because like they could be like so out of pocket or they could be like really like funny or they could just be like great, you know, like
Yeah.
absolutely great. uh, okay, next question. Have you ever experienced any humorous or uncomfortable moments during studio recording?
Uh, it's always humorous. Well, especially when doing Naruto or Boruto, just because again, the scripts, I'll be like, what's going on? What am I saying? And what am I doing? So that was always fun. What was the other one?
Uh,
Humorous or
it was humorous or uncomfortable.
no, the only uncomfortable thing is I did this video game once where I can't say what the name of it is, but I blew my throat out, dude, and that was physically that was physically uncomfortable for like 2 days because I got this part for this video game and I played this African warlord who talked like this. But when I got to the session, he was the big boss at the end of the game, and it was all screaming. So I was like screaming for an hour in that voice, but at the top of my lungs. So physical uncomfortable. I've never been like uncomfortable working, emotionally uncomfortable.
That doesn't sound like fun to be screaming as you're doing the recordings and stuff.
Well, sometimes it can be fun because, if you're doing like one of the games, you have to do efforts, and every fight that you saw in Naruto, so at the end of the session, they're like, okay, so now let's do the fighting. Like, ooh, ah, and you sort of save your voice for that.
Yeah.
And if you do it right, it's fine. But
All
that
right.
one video game, bro, African Warlord, killed me. Hope whoever's playing that game enjoys it.
Okay. So so if you this is another fun one. So if you could live in any fictional world for a day, which one would it be, and what would you do there?
Mm, man, fictional world. I would like to go into the world of Star Wars, and I'd use the Force, man, and I'd hold a lightsaber. I've wanted to do that since I was a little kid.
Have you ever created like any like concepts for Star Wars that you thought should have been in there?
I have a pitch for a Star Wars movie that I'm holding on to, and it concerns the Skywalker family. If I could ever get 5 minutes with John Favreau or Dave Filoni, then I'm gonna pitch.
All
Yeah, for
right.
sure. I have a story I'd love to tell in that world that I think would resonate with like the diehard OG and the new fans.
All right. Okay, so that was all of the questions for the interview. So we
Okay.
can get into the topics if you have any topics you want to discuss.
Yeah, I don't. Whatever you got, man. Let's go.
Like me personally, I don't have any topics, but if you do want to, we can branch off into topics.
I didn't prepare anything. I didn't prepare nothing.
Yeah, that's all right. We can get into the Q&A if you want,
Yeah,
and
yeah, for
if
sure.
like uh, yeah. Okay, so okay, so this is a question from like the Q and A's from the like people who are going to be watching.
Okay.
So
Hey,
there's only
Q&A people.
these there's only three questions from the audience,
Let's go.
and so the first one is besides Coldcast, what DC or Marvel character do you want to play as?
Marvel character I'd love to play. I would love to play do the voice of T'Challa in something. That'd be awesome. That would be a dream come true. I've done uh Luke Cage in Marvel Disc Warriors. That was a dream come true. I got to do Cloak from Cloak and Dagger in one of the Marvel games. I can't remember which one. One of the cell phone game. Well, it was cell phone and iPad or whatever those things are called, tablets. But I would love to play. I don't know anybody in Marvel or DC, dude. Like there's I mean, Black Lightning. Black Lightning, I'd love to do, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you know what I would really love to do? I'd love to play Brainiac, dude. I hope because I'm a Superman fan. I've been collecting comics, Superman comics since I was a kid. Not lately, more, and when I collect more OG stuff. But Brainiac, I think, James Gunn will probably pull him out at some time, and he'll be like I hope he's the big bad, like the Thanos of that world, because he's like the ultimate badass from DC. I'd love to
Yeah.
do something with Brainiac.
So I thought it was funny that you said you collected comic books
Hmm.
or whatever. Like if I can find them. So I recently got into collecting comic books. So
Oh,
this is one that I got when I met. Ah, I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but I got his like autograph and everything on here.
oh, the Red Ranger, one of the Red
Yeah,
Rangers.
the
Nice.
the the original, like the
Oh,
first ever
OG
Ranger.
Red Ranger. Oh, that's dope, man.
Yeah. Um, and then I got like X Men, like the X Men, like one of the first ones, like not first ones, but like this is like one of the first ones I've ever bought.
Nice. What is
Then you
that?
get like
I
it's like the Mega City one, like the issue one or whatever of like the X Men War or whatever.
you know what I love? I love X Factor. There was a run like in the 90s that was really dope, dude.
Like I have like a few others, but I'm not gonna like show you all of them.
All
But
good, man. All good. I got a bunch of them. They're like stacked up over there.
Mhm.
But
But yeah,
I have assigned the boys, and like some OG stuff like Watchmen, and I have all this Batman Year One.
mhm.
I like graphic novels because you can read the whole year in one go.
Okay, but yeah,
Oh, you froze.
did I?
Are you frozen? Am I frozen for you? You're frozen for me.
You're not frozen for me. Oh, now you are.
You're frozen for me. Hopefully,
Oh, can you hear me now?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you, but you're frozen.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm, I think it was like a brief like disconnection of my
Man,
Wi-Fi.
I'm not that great with Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, as
Uh,
long as if I'm not frozen for you, you're still frozen for me. But it's if you're able to record, it's fine.
all right.
I'm sure
But
you'll snap back in at some point.
yeah. But yeah, so for the comic wise, like I recently got into it, and I was like I kind of like collecting things like comics and cards, and it just depends on what it is, you know. I haven't got into like figurines, like how you were saying that you collect like you
Mm.
collect action figures. Like I haven't gotten into
Action
that at
figures.
all.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was where.
Uh,
Now you're back. That's where I started, dude. I started with like the OG, uh, what were they? 6 inch or 6 to 8 inch characters. Yeah,
okay. So, would you want to hear the second question from the audience?
of course.
Okay. So, it says, if you were in a video game, which one would it be?
Well, I'm in a couple video games. I think I did a COD, and I'm in, what is it one? Saints Row.
Hmm.
But what would I've all, I'm a big GTA player. I would love to be in GTA. Just to, it'd just be one of those NPCs just like, hey man, I dropped all my crack on the ground, whatever crazy stuff they're saying. I'd do that. just because I really love GTA.
Yeah.
I'm been playing it since Vice City.
Like the crazy stuff they say, like the random people say when you walk by, is the best.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can be having a bad time playing the game, and then you just hear one of those out of pocket things, and it makes your mood way better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm excited to see what they've done with six. Only because they dropped that little preview last year with all the crazy Florida stuff. So, well, Vice
Oh yeah.
City. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Supposedly with that, they said that they're actually like they're having like smart AI or something like that now. So now you don't not only are you not gonna get killed on sight for playing like so let's say you like do like a minor crime.
Yeah.
Supposedly they said that you won't get like how they say is wasted. Like you won't
All
be
right.
wasted immediately, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But they said that you might do like you might get like arrested or something like that. Like that might be something that happens.
We'll see. GTA 5 has been so much fun, and
Oh yeah.
I'll dip in. Yeah, like I'll be gone for like 3 months, and then I'll dip in. Yeah.
Okay. So this is like the last question from the audience or whatever,
Okay.
which is do you watch your own work?
Yes. A lot of some actors are like, I don't really watch the work that I do, but for me, that's the only way that I'm able to adjust. So I watch the cartoons I do to see, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, and I can make an adjustment for next time. Like even when I'm on set for on camera stuff, I like to go into the monitor and see my take because I can make like my last take to make adjustments for the next take. It's like, oh, is this was too big or the movement here and positioning here. So yeah, I like to watch my stuff. I'm like Sam Jackson, Sam Jackson is like, I don't want to do anything I don't want to see. I feel the same way.
Okay. So um that is all for like the questions and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um like we like if you want we could brainstorm like topics or we don't have to we could just like leave it off at this and then you can come back on like whenever like or whatever.
Right on. I think we did it, man. I think we got a. Hopefully, you got enough to do it, and it's good, and it's been informative, and for people who are interested in either voice acting or specifically Naruto, I hope they would have gotten something from it.
Okay. I feel like this was like a great interview.
Right on.
Like I feel like the interviews I've had with you and like the interview I've had with you and Staley, I feel like those are like going to be like my favorite. Like even though they're like the only two I have so far,
Right.
no, I don't think any other interview I'm gonna have in the future is gonna ever top these two.
Well, Steve's an awesome dude, man, and
Oh yeah.
he is one of the best directors. He's a really great uh anime cartoon specific director. Like he knows his stuff like no one else. And I think he started as a musician and he approaches voiceover sort of the same way I do from like a rhythmic, lyrical, musical standpoint. So I think maybe it's because we speak the same language, but he's like, da, 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 da. It's like, here's the music of it. I'm like, oh, damn, yeah, that's it. Or he's like, this is how long the rhythm should be. And plus, he just knows. The dude's really, he's like a genius at directing anime.
Okay. I'm gonna like I guess I'm gonna do the outro or whatever.
Oh, good. Let's do it. Let's do the outro.
Okay. So okay, so thank you for those of you who are watching, and thank you, Catero, for joining. And like I said, if you ever want to come back on, you can.
Oh,
Uh,
good
but
for sure.
but like I guess for those who are watching, have a great day.